continuing and maybe finishing with Thubia. But I alone went often to Jerusalem at the feasts, as it was ordained unto all the people of Yisrael by an everlasting decree, having the first fruits and tenths of increase, with that which was first shorn, and them gave I at the altar to the priests, the children of Harun. The first 10th part of all the increase I gave to the sons of Harun, who ministered at Jerusalem. Another 10th part I sold away, and went and spent it every year in Jerusalem. And the third I gave unto them to whom it was meet, as Deborah, my father's mother, had commanded me, because I was left an orphan by my father. Furthermore, when I was come to the age of a man, I married Anna of mine own kindred, and of her I begot Thubia. And when we were carried away captives to Nineveh, all my brethren and those that were my kindred did eat of the bread of those who turned their back on God. But I kept myself from eating, because I remembered divinity with all my heart. And the Most High gave me grace and favor before the Enemessar, so that I was his purveyor. And let us remember that nowadays, with all the byproducts and stuff, it wasn't the first time where even eating something that on first glance wouldn't be considered to be forbidden religiously would contain that. At the very least, because it would be cooked on the same grill as the unlawful animals and blood or whatever they're doing, or the drugs. And I went to Media and left in trust with Gabal, the son of Gabriah, and Raga, a city of Media, 10 talents of silver. Now when Enemessar was dead, Sennacherib, his son, reigned in his stead, whose estate was troubled, that I could not go into Media. And in the time of Enemessar, I gave many alms to my brethren, and gave my bread to the hungry, and my clothes to the naked. And if I saw any of my nation dead, or cast about the walls of Nineveh, I buried him. And if King Sennacherib had slain any, when he was come and fled from Yehudah, I buried them privily. For in his wrath he killed many, but the bodies were not found, when they were sought for the king. And when one of the Ninevaim, or I don't know how you plural that, but went and complained of me to the king, that I buried them and hid myself, understanding that I was sought for to be put to death, I withdrew myself for fear that all my goods were forcibly taken away. Neither was there anything left for me beside my wife Anna and my son Thubia. And there passed not 55 days before 2 of his sons killed him, and they fled into the mountains of Ararat. And Sarkana, his son, reigned in his stead, who appointed over his father's accounts and over all his affairs Achiara, my brother, and Naal's son, and Achiara, entreating for me, I returned to Nineveh. Now Achiara was cupbearer. Do you stop at the R, or do you go instead of us? But was the cupbearer and bringing of the signet, and steward and overseer of the accounts. And Sarkana appointed him next unto him, and he was my brother's son. Now when I was come home again, and my wife Anna was restored unto me with my son Thubia in the feast of Pentecost, which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks, and there was a good dinner prepared for me, in which I sat down to eat, and which I saw abundance of meat. I said to my son, Go and bring what poor man soever thou shalt find out of our brethren, who is mindful as God is noun and verb, and lo, I tarry for thee. But he came again and said, Father, one of our nation is strangled, and is cast out in the marketplace. Then before I had tasted of any meat, I started up and took him up into a room until the going down of the sun, and I returned and washed myself and ate my meat in heaviness, remembering that prophecy of Amus, I think, as he said, Your feasts shall be turned into mourning, and all your mirth into lamentation. Therefore I wept, and after going down of the sun, I went and made a grave and buried him. But my neighbors mocked me and said, This man is not yet afraid to be put to death for this matter, who fled away, and yet, lo, he burieth the dead again. And in general, I believe that burying the dead should be done by day, because obviously there's suspicions are more common. But there's more to it than that. The same night also I returned from the burial and slept by the wall of my courtyard, being polluted, and my face was uncovered, and I knew not that there were sparrows in the wall, and mine eyes being open, and the sparrows muted warm dung into mine eyes, and a whiteness came into my eyes, and I went to the physicians, but they helped me not. Moreover, Akara did nourish me until I went unto Elamias, and my wife Anna did take women's work to do. And when she had sent them home to the owners, they paid her wages and gave her also besides a kid. And when it was in my house and began to cry, I said unto her, From whence is this kid? Is it not stolen? Render it to the owners, for it is not lawful to eat anything that is stolen. But she replied, Upon me it was given for a gift more than my wages, more than the wages. Same thing. Howbeit I did not believe her, but bade her render it to the owners, and I was abashed at her. But she replied upon me, Where are thine alms and thy righteous deeds? Behold, thou and all thy works are known. Then I, being grieved, did weep, and in my sorrow prayed, saying, God is noun and verb, thou art just, and all thy works and all thy ways are mercy and truth, and thou judgest truly and justly forever. Remember me, and look on me, punish me not for my sins and ignorances, and the sins of my fathers who have sinned before thee, for they obeyed not thy commandments, wherefore thou hast delivered us for a spoil, and unto captivity, and unto death for a proverb of reproach to all the nations among whom we are dispersed. And now thy judgments are many and true. Deal with me according to my sins and my fathers, because we have not kept thy commandments, neither have we walked in truth before thee. Now therefore deal with me as seemeth best unto thee, and command my spirit to be taken from me, that I may be dissolved and become earth. For it is profitable for me to die rather than to live, because I have heard false reproaches, and have much sorrow. Command therefore that I may now be delivered out of this distress, and go to the everlasting place. Turn not thy face away from me. It came to pass the same day that in Ecbatana, a city of Media, Sarah, the daughter of Rugwal, I don't, Ragul maybe, was also reproached by her father's maids, because that she had been married to 7 husbands, whom Ashmadi, the evil spirit, had killed before they had lain with her. Dost thou know, said they, that thou hast strangled thine husbands? Thou hast already 7 husbands, neither wast thou named after any of them. Wherefore dost thou beat us for them? If they be dead, go thy ways after them. Let us never see of thee either son or daughter. When she heard these things, she was very sorrowful, so that she thought to have strangled herself. And she said, I am the only daughter of my father, and if I do this, it shall be a reproach unto him, and I shall bring his old age with sorrow unto the grave. Then she prayed toward the window, and said, Blessed art thou, God as noun and verb, my God, and thine holy and glorious name is blessed and honorable forever. Let all thy works praise thee forever. And now, God as noun and verb, I set mine eyes and my face toward thee, and say, Take me out of the earth, that I may hear no more the reproach. Thou knowest, God as noun and verb, that I am pure from all sin with man, and that I never polluted my name, nor the name of my father, in the land of my captivity. I am the only daughter of my father, neither hath he any child to be his heir, neither any near kinsman, nor any son of his alive, to whom I may keep myself for a wife. My 7 husbands are already dead, and why should I live? But if to please not thee that I should die, command some regard to be had of me, and pity taken of me, that I hear no more reproach. So the prayers of them both were heard before the majesty of the great divinity, and Rapal was sent to heal them both, that is, to scale away the whiteness of Thubia's eyes, and to give Sarah, the daughter of Ragwal, for a wife to Thubia, the son of Thubia, and to bind Ashmadi, the evil spirit, because she belonged to Thubia by right of inheritance. The self-same time came to Thubia home and entered into his house, and Sarah, the daughter of Ragwal, came down from her upper chamber. In that day, Thubia remembered the money which he had committed to Gamal in Raga of Media, and said with himself, I have wished for death, wherefore do I not call for my son Thubia, that I may signify to him of the money before I die. And when he had called him, he said, My son, when I am dead, bury me, and despise not thy mother, but honor her all the days of thy life, and do that which shall please her, and grieve her not. Remember, my son, that she saw many dangers before thee, when thou wast in her womb, and when she is dead, bury her by me in one grave. My son, be mindful of God as noun and verb, our God, in all thy days, and let not thy will be set to sin or to transgress his commandments. Do uprightly all thy life long, and follow not the ways of the unrighteous, for if thou deal truly, thy doings shall prosperously succeed to thee, and to all them that live justly. Give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thine eyes be envious, neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of divinity shall not be turned away from thee. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly, and if thou have but a little, be afraid to give accordingly to that little. For thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity, because that alms do deliver from death, and suffereth not to come into darkness. For alms is a good gift, and all that give it in the sight of the Most High. Now we have see, 7's an important number. It could relate to the Ecumena and such. The 7. Well, Asham is considered one of the 7. But sometimes all that needs to happen to not experience the temptations anymore is to tell them no. And to do what you, take your side. Exorcism's not too hard. Just pick your side and stick to it. Speak it out for yourself. Not just some priest standing over you that supposedly has authority. You need the person being exorcised has to bring it about. Beware, while she was exercising her house with all those beings tempting her, but beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe, for we are the children of the prophets. Nuch, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaqub. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, in lewdness is decay, and great want for lewdness is the mother of famine. Let not the wages of any man which hath wrought for thee tarry with thee, but give him it out of hand. For if thou serve divinity, he will also repay thee. Be circumspect, my son, in all things thou doest, and be wise in all thy conversation. Do that to no man which thou hatest. Drink not wine to make thee drunken, neither let drunkenness go with thee in thy journey. Give of thy bread to the hungry, and of thy garments to them that are naked, and according to thine abundance give alms. And let not thine eyes be envious when thou givest alms. Pour out thy bread on the burial of the just, but give nothing to the wicked. Ask counsel of all that are wise, and despise not any counsel that is profitable. Bless God as noun and verb, always, and desire of him that thy ways may be directed, and that all thy paths and counsels may prosper. For every nation hath not counsel, but God is noun and verb himself, giveth all good things. And he humbleth whom he will, as he will. Now therefore, my son, remember my commandments, neither let them be put out of my mind. Now I signify this to thee, that I committed 10 talents to Gabal, the son of Gabriah, at Raga in Media. And fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth. If thou fear divinity, and depart from all sin, and do that which is pleasing in his sight. Thubia then answered and said, Father, I will do all these things which thou hast commanded me, but how can I receive the money, seeing I know him not? Then he gave him the handwriting, and said unto him, Seek thee a man which may go with thee while I yet live, and I will give him wages. and go and receive the money. Therefore, when he went to seek a man, he found Raphael. That was an angel, unfallen angel, like being, whatever you want to say. That's a truthful way to explain that. But he knew not, and said unto him, Canst thou go with me to Raga? And knowest that thou those places well? To whom the angel said, I will go with thee, and I know the way well, for I have lodged with our brother Gamal. Then Thubia said unto him, Tarry for me, till I tell my father. And he said unto him, Go, and tarry not. So he went in and said to his father, Behold, I have found one which will go with me. Then he said, Call him unto me, that I may know of what tribe he is, and whether he be a trusty man to go with thee. So he called him, and he came in, and they saluted one another. Then Thubia said unto him, Brother, show me of what tribe and family thou art. To whom he said, Dost thou seek for a tribe or family, or for a hired man to go with thy son? Then Thubia said unto him, I would know, brother, thy kindred and name. He then said, I am Azariah, the son of Ananiah, the great, and of thy brethren. Then Thubia said, Ananiah, Greek variations of names, right? Then Thubia said, Thou art welcome, brother. Be not now angry with me, because I have inquired to know thy tribe and thy family. For thou art my brother of an honest and good stock. For I know Ananiah and Jonathan, sons of that great Smeah, as we were together in Jerusalem to worship, and offered the firstborn and the tenths of the fruit, and they were not seduced with the error of our brethren. My brother, thou art of a good stock, but tell me what wages I shall give thee. Wilt thou a drachm a day, and the things necessary is mine own son? Yea, moreover, ye are returned safe. I will add something to the wages. So they were well pleased. Then said he to Thubia, Prepare thyself for the journey, and divinity send you a good journey. And when his son had prepared all things for the journey, his father said, Go thou with this man, and divinity which dwelleth in heaven prosper your journey, and the angel of divinity keep you company. So they went forth both, and the young man's dog with them. Nothing wrong with having a guard dog. But Anna, his mother, wept and said to Thubia, Why hast thou sent away our son? Is he not the staff of our hand, and going in and out before us? Be not greedy to add money to money, but let it be as refuse in respect of our child. For that which God as noun and verb hath given us to live with doth suffice us. Then said Thubia to her, Take no care, my sister, he shall return in safety, and thine eyes shall see him, for the good angel will keep him company, and his journey shall be prosperous, and he shall return safe. Then she made an end of weeping. Now, positive, negative, there are different purposes of these unfallen angels, but they don't have a choice whether they're going to obey God or not, right? And as they went on their journey, they came in the evening to the river Tigris, and they lodged there. And when the young man went down to wash himself, a fish leaped out of the water and would have devoured him. Then the angel said unto him, Take the fish. And the young man laid hold of the fish and drew it to land. To whom the angel said, Open the fish and take the heart and the liver and the gall and put them up safely. So the young man did as the angel commanded him, and when they had roasted the fish, they did eat it. Then they both went on their way till they drew near to Ecbatana. And the young man said to the angel, Brother Azariah, to what use is the heart and the liver and the gall of the fish? And he said unto him, touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereon before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed. As for the gall, it is good to anoint a man that hath whiteness in his eyes, and he shall be healed. We can kind of think of this as specific to this circumstance, not pick up any fish and burn its heart and it will cast away a demon or something. Some people are going to interpret it that way, of course, though. And when they were come near to Raga, the angel said to the young man, Brother, today we shall lodge with Ragwal, who is thy cousin. He also hath one only daughter, named Sarah. I will speak for her, that she may be given thee for wife, for to thee doth the right of her appertain, seeing thou art only of her kindred. The only one of her kindred. And the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me, and I will speak to her father. And when we return from Raga, we will celebrate the marriage. For I know that Ragal cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moshe, but he shall be guilty of death, because the right of inheritance doth rather appertain to thee than to any other. Then the young man answered the angel, I have heard, brother Azariah, that this maid hath been given to several men who all died in the marriage chamber. And now I am the only son of my father, and I am afraid lest if I go in unto her I die, as the other before, for a wicked spirit loveth her, which hurteth nobody, but those that which come unto her. Wherefore I also fear lest I die, and bring my father's and my mother's life, because of me, to the grave with sorrow, for they have no other son to bury them. Then the angel said unto him, Dost thou not remember the precepts which thy father gave thee, that thou shouldest marry a wife of thine own kindred? Wherefore hear me, O my brother, for she shall be given thee to wife, and make thou no reckoning of the evil spirit, for the same night shall she be given thee in marriage. And when thou shalt come into the marriage chamber, thou shalt take the ashes of perfume, and shalt lay upon them with some of the heart and liver of the fish. I do prefer incense ashes to other ashes, although meat ashes have their own purpose. And shall make a smoke with it, and the devil shall smell it, and flee away, and never come again any more. But when thou shalt come to her, rise up both of you, and pray to divinity, which is merciful, who will have pity on you, and save you. Fear not, for she is appointed unto thee from the beginning, and thou shalt preserve her, and she shall go with thee. Moreover, I suppose that she shall bear thee children. Now, when Phubia had heard these things, he loved her, and his heart was effectually joined to her. And when they were come to Ecbatana, they came to the house of Ragal, and Sarah met them. And after they had saluted one another, she brought them into the home. Then said Ragal to Edna his wife, How like is this young man to Thubia, my cousin, and Ragal asked them, From whence are ye, brethren? To whom they said, We are the sons of Nephthalim, which are captives in Nineveh. And he said to them, Do ye know Thubia, our kinsman? And they said, We know him. Then said he, Is he in good health? And they said, He is both alive and in good health. And Thubia said, He is my father. Then Ragal leapt up and kissed him and wept and blessed him and said unto him, Thou art the son of an honest and good man. But when he had heard that Thubia was blind, he was sorrowful and wept. And likewise Edna his wife and Sarah his daughter wept. Moreover, they entertained them cheerfully, and after that they had killed a ram of the flock, they set store of meat on the table. Then said Thubia to Rapal, Brother Azariah, speak of those things of which thou didst talk in the way, and let this business be dispatched. So he communicated the matter with Ragal, and Ragal said unto Thubia, Eat and drink and make merry, for it is meet that thou shouldest marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto thee the truth. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night. They came in unto her, nevertheless, for the present be merry. But Thubia said, I will eat nothing here, till we agree and swear one to another. And Ragal said, Then take her from thenceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine, and the merciful divinity give you good success in all things. Then called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and took her by the hand, and gave her to be the wife of Thubia, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moshe, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them, and called Edna his wife,